Chosen one, before you pressed play, God had already prepared this encounter. What you are sensing right now is not curiosity, it is recognition. If something in you just shifted, let that yes be visible. Press the like button, not as a reaction, but as a declaration. A digital agreement that what your spirit already knew deserves to be honored. Something in your spirit knows that this moment matters, that a veil is lifting, and that you are standing at the edge of a supernatural turning point. Anointed one, this has been preparation, and now that appointed time is beginning to breathe. God is positioning you for sudden clarity, divine alignment, and a shift that will touch every area of your life, your heart, your purpose, even the resources entrusted to you. What is coming is not ordinary love, not accidental connection, but a heaven-sealed union tied to destiny, elevation, and transfer. Chosen one, stay present. Let your spirit remain open. If your heart is ready to receive, take a quiet moment to align yourself. Stay connected to what heaven is unfolding. Subscribe not to follow a channel, but to keep yourself in the flow of what is being released. And in the comments, type 777, the number of divine completion, as a seal of agreement between your spirit and this moment. What God is about to reveal will require faith, discernment, and readiness. And this message is the doorway. Before anything else unfolds, understand this, beloved. What you are hearing now is not new information. It is a confirmation. The reason this message feels heavy, precise, almost uncomfortably accurate, is because it is brushing against something God already whispered to you long ago. There has been a knowing in you that never fully left, even during seasons when you tried to move on, settle, distract yourself, or lower your expectations. This is not about fantasy or wishful thinking. This is about a sealed revelation that has been waiting for the right moment to open. And that moment is not someday, it is now. Heaven does not rush, but it is never late. What you are standing in is not delay, it is kairos, timing the moment when eternity touches time and something hidden is allowed to surface. Chosen one, the person God is bringing into your life is not arriving by coincidence or convenience. They are connected to an assignment that has been developing quietly alongside yours. For a long time it felt like your life was being edited without your permission. People drifted away, desires changed, certain environments no longer fit. Even prayers you once begged God to answer seemed to fall into silence. But that silence was not absence. It was encryption. God was writing something deeper than what your emotions could yet interpret. I know this because I have lived through seasons when nothing made sense on the surface, where the only thing I had was a quiet conviction that something was being rearranged behind the scenes. Looking back, I can see now that every ending was strategic, every delay was protective, and every unanswered question was preserving me for what I could not yet hold. There is a difference between loneliness and consecration. Loneliness drains you, consecration sharpens you, and many of you listening have been in consecration without having language for it. Someone listening right now stopped praying out loud, not because they stopped believing, but because they ran out of words for what they are carrying. They are in the same consecration season you just found language for. They just have not found the language yet. Through the link in the description, or the pinned comment, a coffee, a seed, a place alongside this mission, what you release here becomes the word that reaches them at the hour when everything is heaviest. Not an explanation, not a sermon, just language strong enough to hold the weight of a season with no name. This message exists to reach the ones still calling it loneliness. Your seed keeps it moving. As you give, bring with you the prayer you have stopped repeating out loud. Not because you gave up on it, but because you grew tired of hearing yourself ask. Not a general prayer, the kind you mean when you are finally honest in the quiet. The provision that has not arrived yet. The relationship that has remained unresolved longer than you can explain. The version of yourself you have been unable to fully step into, and beneath all of it, the fear that maybe the promise was not really meant for you. Let go of what you have been holding, not tightly, not with demand. Just release it alongside your seed, and trust the God who gave you language tonight to honor the prayer you placed inside it. That fear beneath everything is not the truth, and what you have been waiting for is not as far from arriving as the silence has made it feel. You thought something was wrong with you because your heart refused to settle for shallow connections, because attraction without peace began to feel exhausting, because situations that once excited you suddenly felt empty. That was not you becoming difficult. That was you becoming aligned. God does not join destinies casually. When a union carries purpose, it requires refinement. When a relationship is meant to touch generations, it must be prepared in secret. This is why it has felt like you were being hidden, not punished, but protected. Anointed one, hear this clearly. The one who is coming into your life is not a replacement for past pain. They are the resolution of it. They are not entering to rescue you, fix you, or complete you in a way that strips you of your identity. They are coming because two paths that were prepared separately are now being synchronized. There is a spiritual recognition that will not rely on effort or performance. It will feel familiar without being familiar, calm without being boring, deep without being heavy. I remember the first time I experienced that kind of peace with someone God assigned to my life, not romantically, but relationally. There was no rush to impress, no fear of being misunderstood, just clarity. That same peace is the marker God uses when something is authored by Him. This is why your spirit has been restless, not anxious, but alert, not afraid, but awake. You may have noticed your tolerance for chaos decreasing, your patience for emotional games wearing thin, your desire for truth increasing. That is not random. That is the scroll beginning to open. Scripture speaks of books written before we lived out our days. And in this season, God is not adding new pages, He is turning them. The chapter you are entering will not look like the ones behind you, and thank God for that. What is coming will not require you to betray your softness, silence your discernment, or harden your heart to survive. Before this person appears in your physical life, alignment must occur in your inner world. That is why preparation feels so personal right now. Why you are being drawn to clean, release, forgive, simplify, and reorder things that no one else can see. You are not being obsessive, you are being instructed. God always prepares the container before He pours. And what He is about to entrust to you is not fragile, but it is sacred. Chosen one, there is something crucial you must understand in this season. Recognition will come before manifestation. God always allows the Spirit to perceive what the eyes have not yet seen. That is why certain names echo in your mind without logic. Why certain impressions linger longer than they should. Why a sense of familiarity stirs without a face attached to it yet. This is not imagination. This is discernment warming up. Heaven does not reveal everything at once, because revelation without readiness becomes weight instead of blessing. So, what you are experiencing now is not confusion. It is calibration. You have been asking God why your heart feels quieter but deeper. Why you are no longer chasing the things that once made you feel alive. The answer is simple and holy. You are being retuned. Just as instruments must be adjusted before a symphony begins, your inner world has been undergoing subtle corrections. Right now in the comments type, "I am ready," not as a performance, as a declaration spoken in the direction of what is already being formed for you. I have learned through my own walk that God rarely announces these moments loudly. Instead, He speaks through patterns, breaking through doors, closing without explanation, through a peace that shows up where anxiety used to live. That peace is not boredom. They have been shaped in places you never saw and tested in ways you will never fully know. While you were learning how to trust again, they were learning how to stay. While you were healing abandonment wounds, they were learning consistency. While you were asking God for clarity, they were asking Him for courage. This is not coincidence. That is why neither of you could arrive early. Readiness is not about perfection. It is about alignment, and alignment cannot be rushed. The person on your heart right now, the one you cannot fully picture yet, but somehow already sense is being prepared in a place you cannot see. Their readiness and yours are not separate processes, they are synchronized. What you plant here does not only move heaven toward you, it moves heaven toward them. Through the link in the description, or the pinned comment, a coffee, a seed, a place at the table of this mission, your seed enters the timing of what is already being aligned. This word exists to reach both sides of a divine connection before they arrive at each other. God is not the author of confusion. What He authors in both directions at once. As you release your seed, bring with you the specific thing you are trusting Him to align, not a hope in general, but the one thing, the clearest picture of what this partnership carries, not a general prayer, the kind you mean when no one is watching, the fear that you are too late, the wound that still surfaces when consistency appears because consistency has not stayed before, the version of love you have always needed but never fully allowed yourself to receive. And beneath it, the question you have never said out loud: what if I am not enough for what God is sending? Let go of your seed with open hands. Not pleading, not demanding. The same way you are learning to let go of the timing, unclenched, available, trusting. That question does not get to close this season. What is being prepared for you is not arriving to test your worthiness. Your readiness has already been confirmed, and what is coming toward you is not as far as the waiting has made it feel. There is a reason God has not allowed you to settle for almost love. Situationships drained you because they were not meant to feed you. Connections that required you to explain your worth exhausted you because they were not assigned to protect it. This season is marking the end of proving seasons. You are stepping into a chapter where love does not interrogate you. Scripture reminds us that God is not the author of confusion, and what He authors carries clarity even when it unfolds quietly. You may be wondering why preparation has felt so practical lately, why God is drawing your attention to your habits, your space, your discipline, your routines. This is because destiny is not only spiritual, it is embodied. The future you are praying for requires a present you are becoming. When I went through my own season of preparation, it did not feel mystical most days. It felt like choosing better boundaries, cleaning what I had ignored, showing up consistently when no one was applauding. Only later did I realize those ordinary acts were prophetic. Obedience often looks unimpressive until alignment reveals its purpose. Chosen one, the one who is coming, will not interrupt your peace. They will enter it. They will not compete with God for your attention. They will encourage your devotion. This is how you will know. There will be no rush to label, no fear-driven attachment, no emotional whiplash. Instead, there will be clarity layered with patience, depth paired with gentleness, and something in your spirit will relax, not tighten. Love sent by God does not trigger survival mode. It awakens rest. Do not underestimate the power of what is happening unseen. While you are reading these words, alignments are shifting. Conversations are being orchestrated. Detours are being redirected. Even delays that frustrate you are being used to protect timing. If you know someone who is in the middle of a season, they cannot explain who has been in consecration without a name for it. This message was prepared for them too. Share it. When you extend what reached you, you become part of the alignment already in motion for someone else. I have seen this play out too many times to doubt it. The moments I thought were setbacks were actually God refusing to let me arrive too early. What you are walking into now will not require you to perform. It will require you to be present, honest, and surrendered. Anointed One, your role right now is not to search. It is to stay positioned. Positioning looks like faithfulness in small things, integrity when no one is watching, softness without naivety, hope without desperation. Heaven does not misaddress. What is meant for you will find you where obedience keeps you, and when this connection reveals itself fully, it will not feel dramatic. It will feel true. This is not the end of the revelation. The scroll is still opening, chosen one. There is a sacred distinction you are being taught to recognize now, and it will protect you in the season ahead. Not every connection that feels intense is ordained, and not every ordained connection will arrive with intensity. God often moves in ways that feel almost too gentle for a world addicted to fireworks. This is why your discernment has been sharpened lately. You are learning to measure truth by fruit, not by emotion. What is coming into your life will not need to convince you it is real. It will prove itself through consistency, alignment, and peace that deepens over time rather than fades. You may have noticed that your appetite has changed. Things you once tolerated now feel heavy. Conversations that circle gossip or negativity drain you faster than before. This is not you becoming antisocial. This is you becoming selective. Heaven is refining your taste because what you are about to steward requires clarity. I remember a season when I could no longer sit in rooms that once felt normal to me. It felt lonely at first, like I was losing pieces of my life. But later I realized I was being spared from carrying weights that were never mine. What you are losing now is making room for what can stay. Anointed One, the union God is preparing is not simply about companionship, it is about calling. That is why both of you have been pressed in areas that had nothing to do with romance. Your finances, your identity, your obedience, your patience. God was not ignoring your prayers for love. He was answering them in layers. A partnership that carries purpose must be built on trust, not fantasy. That trust is formed in private obedience, not public declaration. This is why so much of your preparation has happened where no one could applaud you. There will be a moment, and it may come quietly, when something shifts from anticipation to recognition. It might be a conversation that flows without effort. A meeting that feels unplanned, yet perfectly timed, a sense of familiarity that does not rush intimacy, but invites safety. When that moment comes, do not interrogate it out of fear. Discernment does not panic. That witness will not shout. That lie has kept many people bound to patterns that feel spiritual, but produce exhaustion. The relationship God is sending will not require you to become smaller, quieter, or less discerning. It will call your depth holy, not inconvenient. This is how you will know the difference between someone who wants access to you and someone who has been assigned to you. You may still feel moments of fear rise up. That is normal. Fear often surfaces right before a threshold is crossed. But hear this, you cannot ruin what God already sealed with surrender. Your mistakes did not disqualify you. Your waiting did not weaken the promise. If anything, it strengthened it. I have watched God redeem timing that looked impossible. I have seen Him restore what seemed permanently delayed. He does not work with human clocks. He works with eternal intention. Pay attention to the subtle instructions you are receiving now. The nudge to rest more. The urge to clear emotional clutter. The conviction to forgive without reopening doors. These are not random self-improvement phases. They are alignment codes. God always prepares the atmosphere before He introduces something sacred into it. What you are being asked to release is not punishment. It is precision. Anointed One, the person being drawn toward you, is experiencing their own unrest. A holy dissatisfaction with shallow living. A growing desire for depth, truth, and integrity. Even if they cannot yet name you, their spirit is being trained to recognize you. Heaven does not rush recognition, but it does ensure it. When the time comes, neither of you will need to chase. Alignment moves toward itself. Remain anchored, remain honest, remain surrendered. What is unfolding now is not fragile, and it does not require force. It is steady, intentional, and already in motion. Chosen one, there is a deeper layer of preparation unfolding now. Many people ask God for blessing, love, or partnership, but few are willing to be reshaped so that the blessing does not crush them. You are in a season where your capacity is being expanded. This is why emotions you thought were healed may resurface briefly, why old fears knock softly one last time, why God is inviting you to look honestly at patterns you once avoided. This is not regression, this is reinforcement. Before God entrusts you with something sacred, He strengthens the foundation that will carry it. You may have noticed that your prayers have shifted. They are no longer just about asking for outcomes, but about asking for wisdom, patience, and discernment. That shift matters. When your prayers mature, your destiny responds. I remember realizing this in my own life when I stopped asking God to hurry and started asking Him to prepare me properly. What followed was not immediate manifestation, but an unexpected peace that steadied me through uncertainty. That peace was not the absence of desire, it was the presence of trust. You are learning the same lesson now, even if it does not yet have language. Anointed one, love sent by God is not meant to replace Him. It is meant to reflect Him. That is why your devotion has been refined first. The relationship you are stepping into will not pull you away from purpose, prayer, or truth. It will sharpen those things. If something draws you away from who God is shaping you to be, it is not aligned, no matter how intense it feels. Alignment does not demand compromise. It invites agreement. This is a boundary you are learning to honor, and it will save you from repeating cycles that once cost you deeply. Pay attention to how your sense of worth is stabilizing. You are no longer chasing validation the way you once did. Compliments feel nice, but they no longer define you. Silence no longer terrifies you. Being alone no longer feels like failure. This inner steadiness is not accidental. It is evidence that God has been anchoring your identity in truth rather than approval. The one who is coming will not need to convince you of your value because you will already be standing in it. Healthy love does not build worth, it recognizes it. There is also a quiet authority growing in you, not the kind that dominates or demands, but the kind that discerns and decides. You are becoming quicker to say no, slower to explain yourself, and more comfortable letting misunderstanding exist without rushing to fix it. This is maturity, and maturity attracts maturity. Heaven does not pair a stabilized spirit with an unstable one. This is why both of you have been delayed at times. God was not withholding love. He was preventing imbalance. Chosen one, you may be tempted to romanticize what is coming. Resist that urge. What God is bringing into your life is not a fantasy escape from responsibility. It is a partnership that will require presence, humility, and growth. There will be joy, yes, but also seasons of stretching. The difference now is that the stretching will not threaten your identity. It will refine it. The right partner does not rescue you from becoming. They walk with you through it. Do not be surprised if the final stages of preparation feel ordinary. God often hides the most important transitions in routines that look unimpressive. Faithfulness in daily life is the gateway to extraordinary alignment. When Scripture speaks of the steps of the righteous being ordered, it does not mean dramatic leaps, it means consistent obedience. Your life right now may look quiet, but it is deeply aligned. Anointed one, continue to honor the small instructions, rest when prompted. Speak truth when it is uncomfortable. Release what no longer fits without resentment. These choices are not delaying your promise, they are accelerating it safely. When life is already shaking you into someone who can sustain what is coming, it requires your agreement. and agreement looks like trust in motion. Chosen one, as this season unfolds, you are being invited into a quieter but more powerful form of faith. Not the kind that demands immediate proof, but the kind that rests even while things are still forming. This is important because what God is aligning for you cannot be rushed without being damaged. There are blessings that arrive quickly and fade just as fast. And there are blessings that arrive slowly because they are meant to last. What is coming into your life belongs to the second category. It carries weight, endurance, and responsibility. That is why God has been teaching you how to wait without growing bitter, how to hope without grasping, and how to stay open without becoming careless. You may have noticed that you are no longer drawn to urgency the way you once were. Fast connections, emotional intensity, dramatic declarations no longer impress you. Instead, you are listening for truth in tone, watching for integrity in action, and paying attention to how something feels after the excitement fades. This is not fear. This is wisdom. Anointed one, wisdom always arrives before promotion. Heaven does not elevate what it has not stabilized, and right now your spirit is being stabilized in a way that will allow you to recognize real love when it appears, not confuse it with chemistry or familiarity. There is also a healing happening in how you relate to time. You are no longer measuring your life against other people's timelines. What once made you anxious now simply passes through your awareness without attaching itself. This is freedom. Comparison loses its power when you understand that your path is specific. The one assigned to you is not running late, and neither are you. Both of you are being synchronized at a pace that protects what is being built. I know how difficult this can be, especially in quiet seasons where nothing visible seems to be happening, but I can tell you from experience that the deepest alignments often occur in the least observable moments. Chosen one, something else is shifting as well. This posture matters because what God is sending will not respond to desperation. It will respond to readiness. Desperation seeks relief. Readiness seeks alignment. And you are moving out of the first and firmly into the second. That transition alone marks the closing of an old chapter. Do not be surprised if you are also being called to forgive more deeply than before, not to reopen doors, but to release residue. Forgiveness in this season is not about reconciling with the past. It is about clearing emotional space for the future. Old disappointments cannot coexist with new assignments. They take up room that belongs to something better. When God asks you to let go, it is never to leave you empty. It is to make you available. Anointed one. Instead, their consistency will gently expose how much healing has already taken place. You will notice that you respond differently, that you do not overanalyze, that you are not afraid to be honest, that silence does not feel threatening. These are signs that something has shifted permanently inside you. There may still be moments when doubt whispers. That is human. But doubt no longer has authority here. You are not building your future on feelings. You are aligning it with truth. And truth does not fluctuate based on mood. It anchors. When the right connection begins to unfold, you will not feel like you are losing control of your life. You will feel like you are finally standing fully inside it. Chosen one. Remember this. God does not reveal something to you without also providing the grace to walk it out. The reason this message resonates is because you have been given the capacity to receive it. Nothing is being asked of you that heaven has not already prepared you for. Your role is not to force clarity, but to remain obedient to what is already clear. Stay faithful in the unseen. Stay gentle with yourself as you continue to grow. Stay anchored in truth when emotions fluctuate. What is forming now is not fragile, and it is not uncertain. It is steady, intentional, and divinely guided, and you are ready for it, even if it does not yet look the way you imagined. Chosen one. There is a moment that arrives quietly in every season of true alignment. a moment when striving gives way to steadiness. You may already be sensing it. Your prayers are no longer frantic. Your questions are fewer. You are not demanding signs every hour. Instead, there is a grounded awareness growing inside you that says something is already in motion. That awareness is not wishful thinking. It is discernment settling into place. God often speaks loudest when he no longer needs to convince you, only guide you. Heaven is not asking you to do more, but to remain consistent. It is easy to believe when emotions are high. It is faithfulness when emotions are neutral that proves alignment. I learned this the hard way in my own walk. There were seasons when I thought intensity meant devotion, only to realize later that endurance is what carries destiny forward. You are learning that now. Your faith is becoming quieter, but stronger, less performative, more rooted. That kind of faith does not collapse under pressure. Anointed one, understand this clearly. The union God is preparing is not meant to distract you from your calling, but to walk alongside it. That is why your sense of purpose has been sharpened before the relationship arrives. God never introduces partnership before identity is established. He secures who you are before aligning who will walk with you. This is why you have been drawn back to the core of who you are. Lately revisiting dreams you once buried, clarifying values you once compromised, and reclaiming parts of yourself you gave away too easily. Nothing about this is accidental. There is also a subtle courage rising in you. Not loud bravery, but quiet conviction. You are less afraid of being misunderstood, less tempted to explain yourself into acceptance, more comfortable letting truth stand on its own. This courage will matter deeply in the relationship ahead. Healthy love does not require self-erasure. It requires presence. The person God is aligning with you will not fear your clarity. They will respect it. They will not be intimidated by your boundaries. They will recognize them as wisdom. Chosen one, you may be tempted to think that because things feel calm, nothing is happening. That is a lie that urgency often tells us. Calm does not mean stagnant. Calm often means ordered. Just as waters settle before reflecting clearly, your inner world is being stilled so that recognition can occur without distortion. When the time comes, you will not second-guess peace. You will trust it. Peace will not feel boring. It will feel safe. And safety is where covenant grows. There is something else unfolding that you may not have named yet. Your ability to receive. Many people can give love, but few know how to receive it without suspicion or self-sabotage. God has been healing that place in you quietly. You are learning that receiving does not make you weak. It makes you open. The right partner will not overwhelm you with intensity. They will meet you with presence. And presence requires the humility to receive without questioning worth. Anointed one, the preparation you are undergoing is not only for romance, it is for stewardship. Stewardship of time, stewardship of energy, stewardship of another person's heart. That is why God has been teaching you to slow down, to listen more than react, to choose response over impulse. These lessons will not end when the relationship begins. They will sustain it. What God builds, He builds to last. Pay attention to how your reactions have changed. Things that once triggered you no longer control you. Conversations that once derailed your peace now pass without sticking. This is evidence of authority returning to its rightful place inside you. Do not chase what has been promised. Do not force what is forming. Alignment is already doing the work that effort cannot accomplish. The path ahead is being cleared, not dramatically, but deliberately. When the next step becomes visible, you will not feel pressure to take it. You will feel ready. Trust the quiet. Honor the process. Remain surrendered. What is being prepared is not fragile, and it is not distant. It is approaching at the speed of wisdom, and wisdom never arrives too late. Chosen one, as you move deeper into this alignment, there is a subtle but powerful shift happening in how you perceive connection. You are no longer drawn to what feels familiar just because it echoes the past. Instead, you are learning to discern what feels right because it reflects truth. Familiarity once kept you cycling through patterns that felt safe but unfruitful. Now truth is drawing you forward even when it feels unfamiliar. This is growth, and growth often feels like standing still while everything inside you is being rearranged. You may have noticed that your intuition has become clearer. You sense when something is off without needing proof. You feel peace when something is aligned without needing explanation. This clarity did not come overnight. It was earned through seasons of confusion, disappointment, and learning to listen when your spirit whispered. Instead of shouted, God has been teaching you to trust that whisper. That whisper will be essential when recognition happens, because divine connections rarely announce themselves with noise. They arrive with knowing. Anointed one, there is a reason God has been healing your relationship with honesty. You are learning to speak truth gently but firmly, to express needs without fear of abandonment, and to hold space for another without losing yourself. These are not small lessons. They are covenant skills. The love that is coming will not thrive on assumptions or silence. It will be built on communication that is grounded in respect and clarity. God prepares both people for this simultaneously, even when they are unaware of each other. I want you to notice something important about your journey. You did not arrive here untouched. You arrived refined. Every heartbreak taught you what you will no longer accept. Every disappointment clarified what you actually need. Every season of waiting strengthened muscles you did not know you had. Nothing was wasted. Even the relationships that ended painfully served as instructors. They showed you where you abandoned yourself, where you stayed too long, where you hoped someone would become who they never intended to be. Those lessons are now wisdom, and wisdom attracts what can remain. Chosen one, the connection God is preparing will not require you to convince yourself it is right. You will not need to override your discernment to keep it alive. This kind of love may feel unfamiliar at first because it does not activate adrenaline. There is also a humility being formed in you. Not insecurity, but teachability. You are open to learning, to adjusting, to growing alongside someone rather than needing to control outcomes. This humility will create safety in the relationship ahead. Safety allows people to be real. Realness allows intimacy. Intimacy allows partnership to deepen beyond surface-level attraction. God is intentional about this order. He does not invert it. Anointed one, do not be surprised if the final stretch before alignment feels almost uneventful. Often the most important transitions are disguised as ordinary days. You wake up, go about your routine, tend to responsibilities, and think nothing is changing. But beneath the surface, trajectories are converging. Timing is tightening. Alignment is narrowing the gap. Heaven works with precision, not spectacle. Continue to guard your heart without closing it. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with discernment. The person assigned to you will not be confused by your boundaries. They will recognize them as wisdom and respond with respect. You will not have to negotiate your standards. You will simply live them, and alignment will meet you there. Chosen one, remain attentive, but not anxious. Expectant, but not obsessive. Faithful, but not forceful. This posture is not passive. It is powerful. It signals to heaven that you trust the process enough to stay present in your life while God does the unseen work. And He is doing that work even now. What is approaching will not interrupt your life. It will integrate with it. It will not demand that you abandon who you are becoming. It will honor it. And when that moment arrives, it will feel less like a beginning and more like a continuation of something that was always meant to be. Chosen one, as alignment tightens, there is a sacred honesty God is inviting you into now. Honesty, not just with Him, but with yourself. This is the stage where excuses lose their grip and truth becomes gentler. You are seeing clearly what you can carry and what you can no longer afford to entertain. That clarity is not judgment, it is stewardship. God does not entrust destiny to denial. He entrusts it to awareness, and awareness is growing in you day by day. You may feel a quiet resolve forming a decision that does not need to be announced. It shows up in the way you choose rest instead of burnout, truth instead of people-pleasing, depth instead of distraction. These choices are not dramatic, but they are decisive. They signal to heaven that you are ready to live aligned, not just inspired. I have learned that inspiration fades quickly when it is not anchored in daily obedience. What you are building now is not momentum fueled by emotion. You are no longer chasing external confirmations to soothe internal doubt. You are learning to trust the peace that remains after the noise fades. Signs from God do not create dependency. They cultivate confidence. When something is aligned, it does not require constant reassurance. It holds, it stays, it grows stronger in stillness. This is how you will recognize what is coming. It will not pull you into confusion. It will anchor you deeper into yourself and into God. There may be moments when old habits attempt to reassert themselves, overthinking, scanning for threats, bracing for disappointment. This is not failure. It is residue. Residue surfaces when something new is about to take root. The difference now is that you do not live there anymore. You notice the pattern, and you choose differently. That choice is evidence of transformation. Transformation is not the absence of temptation. It is the presence of authority to respond wisely. Chosen one, your understanding of love is maturing. Love is no longer something you chase to feel whole. It is something you prepare to share responsibly. This shift changes everything. When you stop needing love to rescue you, you become capable of receiving love that walks with you. God has been careful with this process because immature desire can misinterpret intensity as destiny. But maturity recognizes destiny by peace, clarity, and mutual direction. Pay attention to how your future vision is becoming more grounded. You are thinking less in vague hopes and more in intentional steps. What kind of partnership do I want to build? What kind of home do I want to cultivate? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? These questions are not pressure. They are preparation, and preparation is love's invitation, not its obstacle. The person aligned with you will resonate with these questions. They will not be intimidated by them. There is something else God is healing quietly. You are learning that openness does not mean overexposure, and strength does not mean silence. This balance will matter deeply. The right partner will not need you to armor yourself. They will respect your boundaries while welcoming your truth, and you will feel safe enough to be real without fearing abandonment. Safety is not the absence of challenge, it is the presence of trust. If at times you feel the urge to rush, pause and breathe. Urgency often disguises fear as motivation. Fear says, "What if I miss it?" Faith says, "What is mine will recognize me." You are not responsible for orchestrating divine timing. You are responsible for remaining aligned with divine instruction. That instruction often looks simple. Stay honest, stay prayerful, stay grounded in your life. Chosen one, keep honoring the quiet disciplines, showing up when no one sees. Choosing integrity when it costs you convenience, letting go without bitterness. These are not delays, they are accelerators that move you safely into what is coming. When alignment arrives, it will not feel like chaos suddenly resolved. It will feel like order revealed. You are not standing on the edge of something fragile. You are approaching something resilient, something that has been prepared to meet you where you are, not where you used to be. And you are ready to meet it, not because you are perfect, but because you are present. Chosen one, There comes a point in every divinely ordered journey where anticipation transforms into alignment. This is that point. You are no longer simply hoping something will happen. You are being positioned so that when it does, it can remain. This distinction matters. Many people encounter moments they are not prepared to sustain. God, in His mercy, has refused to let that be your story. What is approaching is not a test of your desire, but a response to your readiness. You may sense that your inner world has slowed down while your awareness has sharpened. This is not contradiction, it is maturity. You are learning how to be fully present without being reactive, expectant without being restless. That posture is rare and it is valuable. Heaven responds to stability. When Scripture speaks of foundations, it is not poetic language, it is practical wisdom. Anything meant to last must be anchored, and you are being anchored now, Anointed One. Notice how your relationship with fear has changed. Fear may still knock, but it no longer has keys. You hear it, acknowledge it, and then choose truth anyway. This is courage in its most authentic form. Courage is not loud, it is consistent. It is choosing trust again after disappointment, choosing openness after loss, choosing obedience when outcomes are not guaranteed. These choices are shaping you into someone who can recognize healthy love without mistaking it for threat. There is also a new level of self-respect taking root in you. You are no longer bargaining with yourself about what you deserve. You are no longer negotiating your standards in moments of loneliness. This self-respect did not appear overnight. It was forged through moments when you chose to walk away from what felt good, but was misaligned. Those decisions were not losses. They were investments, and now the return on that investment is beginning to surface. Chosen One, the person being aligned with you, will meet you at this level. They will not be confused by your clarity. They will not be threatened by your discernment. They will not try to rush your process or dull your conviction. Instead, they will recognize something familiar in your steadiness because they too have been through a refining process. God does not pair unprocessed pain with healed discernment. He matches growth with growth. Solitude is not abandonment when it is assigned. It is where identity solidifies without interference. It is where you learn to hear God's voice above the noise of opinion. That clarity will serve you well in the relationship ahead. You will not need to crowdsource your decisions. You will not need constant reassurance. You will trust the peace God gives you. Anointed One, remain attentive to how God is training you to respond rather than react. Response comes from alignment. Reaction comes from wounds. You are responding more often now, pausing before speaking, listening before assuming. This shift will create safety in the connection to come. Safe environments allow love to grow without defense. Defense may feel protective, but it suffocates intimacy. God has been teaching you how to stay open without being unguarded. There may still be moments when impatience tries to creep in. That is natural. But impatience no longer defines you. You are living your life, stewarding your responsibilities, honoring your growth. That is not standing still. That is forward movement with wisdom. Chosen One, trust that what is forming will arrive with clarity, not confusion, with steadiness, not volatility, with intention, not ambiguity. You will not have to decode mixed signals or guess where you stand. Love authored by God does not speak in riddles. It communicates through consistency, presence, and peace. Continue to walk in what you already know. Do not shrink your life to make room for the future. Build your life with integrity, purpose, and joy now. The right person will not need you to pause your becoming. They will recognize it and walk alongside it. What you are approaching is not an escape from your life. It is an integration into it. And when that integration begins, it will feel less like something new starting and more like something long prepared finally stepping into view. Chosen One, There is a holy inevitability to what is unfolding now. Not inevitability rooted in fate, but in faithfulness. Faithfulness on God's part and faithfulness on yours. You did not arrive at this moment by accident or by emotional momentum. You arrived here by obedience layered over time, by choosing integrity when it was inconvenient, by choosing healing when bitterness would have been easier, by choosing growth when staying the same felt safer. This is why what is coming will not feel fragile. You may sense that your internal posture has shifted from waiting for something to happen to being ready when it does. That shift is subtle, but it changes everything. It means you are no longer orienting your life around absence. You are building from wholeness, and wholeness attracts what can meet it without trying to consume it. This is why the coming connection will not overwhelm you. It will complement you. It will not disrupt your rhythm. It will harmonize with it. Anointed one. One of the final preparations God often makes before a major alignment is teaching discernment in timing. Not everything needs to be acted on immediately. Not every feeling requires a response. Not every opportunity is an assignment. You are learning patience without passivity, movement without haste. This wisdom will protect what is being formed. Rushed beginnings often carry unresolved endings with them. God has been careful to close chapters properly in your life so that nothing bleeds into what is new. You may have noticed a deepening confidence in your decisions. Not arrogance, but assurance. You trust yourself more because you trust God more. You are no longer second-guessing every choice or replaying conversations in your mind. This mental quiet is not emptiness. It is clarity. And clarity is one of the greatest gifts you can bring into a partnership. The person aligned with you will not need you to be perfect, but they will benefit deeply from your groundedness. Chosen one, understand this. What is coming will not arrive to complete you. It will arrive to collaborate with you. Completion is God's work alone. Partnership is a shared stewardship. That distinction will keep you from placing unrealistic expectations on another person. It will also free you to love without fear of losing yourself. God has been dismantling the belief that love requires sacrifice of identity. True covenant requires sacrifice of ego, not essence. There is also a quiet recalibration happening in how you handle disappointment. You no longer spiral when things do not go as planned. You adapt. You adjust. You remain anchored. Every relationship, no matter how aligned, will encounter moments of tension or misunderstanding. What makes it healthy is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of maturity in navigating it. God has been teaching you how to stay present through discomfort without abandoning connection or self-respect. Anointed one, do not underestimate the significance of how ordinary life feels right now. Ordinary does not mean stagnant. It means stable. Stability is the soil where long-term love grows. Drama may feel exciting, but it cannot sustain intimacy. You are being prepared for something that will last beyond emotion. That kind of love requires a steady foundation, and steadiness often feels unremarkable until you realize how safe it is. If you find yourself tempted to look backward, remind yourself why you were led forward. Nostalgia can distort memory, making past pain seem smaller than it was. But growth remembers truth. You did not come this far to repeat lessons you already passed. You are not being tested again. You are being trusted with something new. Chosen one, remain faithful to the life you are building now. Keep honoring your values. Keep nurturing your purpose. Keep choosing honesty over avoidance. When alignment arrives, it will meet you in motion, not in suspension. God does not interrupt obedience, He joins it. There is no need to rush what is already moving toward you. There is no need to fear missing what is divinely assigned. Heaven is precise. Timing is intentional. And what is approaching will recognize you because you have already been prepared to be seen. You are not waiting for permission to live. You are living in preparation for what will join you And when it does, it will not feel like rescue. It will feel like resonance. Chosen one, there is a quiet confidence settling into you now, one that does not need validation or applause. It comes from knowing who you are becoming and trusting the process that brought you here. This confidence is not loud or performative. It is steady. It shows up in how you move through your days without constantly checking for signs or reassurance. You are learning that when something is truly aligned, it does not need to announce itself early. It arrives when the ground is ready, not when impatience demands it. You may notice that your conversations have changed. You are less interested in surface-level exchanges and more drawn to meaning. You listen differently. You speak with intention. You no longer feel the need to fill silence just to avoid discomfort. This matters more than you realize. The connection God is preparing for you will thrive in this kind of presence. It will not require constant stimulation to feel alive. It will deepen through shared stillness, mutual understanding, and the ability to sit with each other without performing. Anointed one. One of the greatest preparations God has made in you is teaching you how to hold joy without fear of losing it. In the past, moments of happiness may have felt fragile, as if something would soon go wrong. That anticipation of loss was not intuition. It was unhealed expectation. God has been gently rewriting that narrative. You are learning that joy does not have to be defended, it can be trusted. This shift will allow you to enter love without bracing for impact. There is also a growing sense of responsibility you are carrying now. Not burden, but ownership. Ownership of your emotions, your reactions, your choices. You no longer outsource your peace to circumstances or people. This is essential. Healthy partnership requires two people who can regulate themselves without demanding the other do it for them. God has been preparing you to bring emotional stability into the relationship, not emotional dependency. Chosen one, the person being aligned with you will not arrive to awaken your purpose. They will recognize it. They will not compete with your calling. They will respect it. This is why God has been so intentional about strengthening your sense of direction first. When two people walk in purpose, their paths converge naturally. There is less resistance, less confusion, less need for negotiation. Alignment simplifies what effort complicates. You may feel moments of excitement rising now, not the frantic kind, but a calm anticipation. This is a sign that fear is losing its voice. Anticipation rooted in peace is different from anticipation rooted in anxiety. One trusts timing, the other tries to control it. You are learning to trust. That trust is not passive. That 91. He is looking for availability. You have already shown that availability through your willingness to heal, to release, to change patterns that no longer served you. That willingness is what makes alignment possible. If there are days when nothing seems to be happening, resist the urge to interpret silence as stagnation. Silence often signals that construction is happening beneath the surface. Foundations are laid quietly. Structures rise unseen before they become visible. What God is building now is not temporary. It requires careful placement, not rushed assembly. Chosen one, keep honoring the wisdom you have gained. Do not minimize your journey or discount what it took to get here. Every boundary you learned to set, every goodbye you had to say, every season you endured without clarity has contributed to the strength you now carry. That strength will not intimidate the right person. It allows you to enjoy where you are while remaining ready for what is next. You do not have to put your life on hold to receive what God is sending. Live fully now. The right connection will not interrupt your life. It will integrate into it. You are not waiting to become worthy. You already are. You are simply allowing timing, wisdom, and obedience to bring what has been prepared into view. And when it does, you will recognize it not because it is dramatic, but because it feels right. Stay steady, stay surrendered, Stay present. What is aligning does not require urgency. It requires trust. Chosen one. This final stretch is not about waiting for something external to change. Your heart is steadier. Your spirit is anchored. These are not small developments. They are the evidence that alignment has taken root. What is coming does not need to rush you because you are no longer chasing it. You are ready to receive it without losing yourself. There is a sacred calm surrounding you now, even on days when emotions fluctuate. That calm is not numbness. It is trust matured through experience. You have seen enough of God's faithfulness to know that He does not abandon what He begins. That knowing allows you to rest without disengaging, to hope without clinging. Rest is not inactivity. It is confidence in motion, and confidence is what allows destiny to approach without resistance. Anointed one, you are stepping into a season where alignment becomes visible, not necessarily dramatic, not necessarily immediate, but undeniable. The things you once had to force will begin to flow. Conversations will open naturally. Opportunities will align without manipulation. And when the connection God has prepared begins to surface, it will not require you to abandon your life to make room for it. It will meet you within the life you have built faithfully. There is something important to remember as you move forward. What God sends will honor the work He has done in you. It will not trivialize your growth or test your boundaries. It will respect your pace. It will invite your presence. This is how covenant reveals itself, through mutual reverence, not urgency. If something pressures you to rush to compromise or to override your peace, it is not aligned, no matter how compelling it appears. Alignment never competes with peace. Chosen one, you have learned how to listen differently, not just to your emotions, but to the quieter wisdom beneath them. That wisdom will guide you well. It will help you distinguish between excitement and clarity, between familiarity and truth. It will remind you that love does not arrive to fix what God has already healed. It arrives to build on it. You are not entering this next chapter fragile or uncertain. You are entering it grounded and aware. There may still be moments when your mind tries to revisit old narratives. What if it does not work? What if I misread this? What if I get hurt again? These thoughts do not mean you are regressing. They mean you are human. The difference now is that you do not obey them. You acknowledge them and return to truth. Truth says you are not walking blindly. Truth says you are not repeating old patterns unconsciously. Truth says you are partnered with wisdom now. Anointed one, let your life continue to reflect what you believe is coming, not in anxious preparation, but in faithful alignment. Care for what you have. Honor your responsibilities. Love well where you are. Speak truth kindly. Choose integrity consistently. These choices are not placeholders. They are participation in destiny. Destiny is not something that happens to you. It is something you walk into step by step. As this season closes and the next opens, remain attentive without becoming attached to outcomes. God's timing will not need your help to be effective. It will unfold with precision. And when the moment comes, whether through a conversation, a meeting, a realization, you will not feel disoriented. You will feel steady. The recognition will be mutual. The peace will be present. The direction will be clear. Chosen one, you are not arriving late to your life. You are arriving prepared. Prepared to love without losing yourself. Prepared to build without fear. Prepared to walk alongside another without abandoning your calling. This readiness is the true gift of the season you have just walked through, and it will carry you well into what comes next. Stay anchored, stay open, stay faithful to who you are becoming. What has been aligned will reveal itself in the right moment, and when it does, it will not ask you to become someone else. It will meet you as you are, grounded, aware, and ready to walk forward in truth. What is settling in you right now, that quiet certainty that has been building through everything spoken here, is not the end of a message. It is the beginning of a response. A scroll does not open only to the one who reads. It opens to the one who responds. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, a coffee, a seed, a place inside what God is releasing in this hour. What you release here is not charity, and it is not transaction. It is your response to what heaven has been building in you. This message exists to reach every chosen one still standing in their appointed moment without knowing it has already arrived. The vision awaits its appointed time, and that time, as Habakkuk declared, will not delay. What you plant in this moment is your agreement that the appointed time is now, for your destiny, for your calling, for the sacred alignment already in motion toward you, not a general prayer, the kind you mean when you are honest before heaven, the breakthrough that has been at the edge of visible for longer than you can measure, the courage to receive what you have been preparing yourself to hold, the peace to stop questioning your readiness, and the deepest one, the fear that what was sealed over you might be the one promise that does not reach its fullness. Let go. Let your open hands be the seal. Let the releasing be your declaration that you are stepping into alignment, not still waiting outside it. That promise is not slipping. Your kairos is not behind you. What has been written over your life cannot be unwritten, and it is not as far from its manifestation as the waiting has made it feel. Chosen one, receive this as your holy commissioning. The sealed scroll over your life is opening. The hidden word is being revealed, and you are standing in your exact kairos moment, heaven's appointed time for alignment. What God has written cannot be delayed, denied, or diminished. Walk forward in peace. Stay faithful to the flow of the anointing, and steward this season with gratitude and obedience. Your path is ordered. Your promise is alive, and what is forming will manifest in perfect timing. And in the comments, leave your city not just as a location, but as a marker. A testimony that alignment is not theoretical. It is geographical. It is real. It is here. Go in peace. Anointed one. Heaven is already at work.